The 7 biggest retirement plan mistakes. These are big. If you don't get these right, if you avoid these, if you know these are things you should not do and things you should do, you go a long way to securing your retirement. Number 1, taxes. You have to know where you're going to stand on taxes when you retire. It's nothing like when you're working a normal job. How are you going to be 2 years in? How are you going to be 5 years in? And most importantly, how are you going to look when RMDs kick in, required minimum distributions? They raised that up to 73 years old this year. So, you know, it's one more year that you aren't required to take proceeds out of your retirement nest egg. But you have to know what your taxes are going to be when you get there. You know, in the first couple of years of retirement, you could be like around 12% taxes. Hey, there go my fighter jets. Go boys and girls. But then on down the road, let's say when you're 73, you might be pushed all the way into like the 40% tax bracket. If you don't know this going in, if you can't take advantage of Roth, IRAs, moving some of your money around so you can avoid those huge taxes and RMDs, you're going to be not too well off when you get to that. Taxes, number 1. Number 2, buying too much of your company's stock. You could have the best company in the world that you work for. All you got to do is look back to Enron. Look back to Enron. There were people that had millions of dollars of stock when they worked for Enron in their company. What happened to them? They went broke. I don't care how strong your company is, you have to diversify. You cannot put a huge amount of your retirement, based just on your company. Things happen. Things happen all the time. Look at banks have been failing this year. Don't be that secure in your company to put, let's say more than 30 or 40% of your nest egg in your company. Diversify. You got to diversify or else you could be in for a hard time later on. Number 3, some people think they're never going to retire. Okay, if you're never going to retire, you're probably not going to ever save for retirement, right? Cardinal sin that some people make. Thankfully, not that many, but there are people out there who think, hey, I love my job. I'm going to work until I die. Okay, if you love your job, great. What happens if something happens to your health? You got to plan for, at some time, you retiring. Hopefully, you'll start realizing that earlier in age and not later, and actually making a plan for retirement. You have to have some kind of plan, no matter how rudimentary it is. You have to have some well thought out, stable plan. Not too stable though. Be flexible. If things change your plan. But you can't go into, your working life saying, I'm never going to retire. That will assure you never plan. Can't do that. Number 4, cashing out your 401ks in between jobs. I had the chance to do this 2 or 3 times. When I was younger, I was tempted because I didn't have that much in my 401k yet. All right. Thankfully, I listened to some wiser and older heads that knew more than I did at the time. Don't do that. You'll regret it later. I think I had maybe, $35,000 or something in one 401k. I'm like, hey, I'm changing jobs. Why don't I take this out and get a nice car? Thankfully, I didn't do that. That's one of the worst mistakes you can make because that money's sitting there waiting for you, right? Yeah, you'll have to pay taxes on it, but it's tempting, isn't it? It was for me. I was like looking at some of these BMWs and stuff. I'm like, woo, baby, going down Sunset Boulevard in my music industry attire. I had it made. At least I thought I did. So yeah, don't cash it out. Roll it over, guys. Roll it over to your next company. If they don't have it, cash it, make it into an IRA. There are all different kinds of ways that you can take a 401k and still leave it in deferred tax status without cashing it out. The best thing to do is if your company that you're going to has 401k, just roll it over. It's easy, out of sight, out of mind. If you have to take a loan from your 401k, fine. If it's for something like a down payment on a house, I did that twice and I repaid both of them within a couple years. Do that. It's not that painful to pay it back, right? You just take, it's just a little bit more that you're putting into your 401k, and part of that will go to the loan on a monthly basis. But do not cash out your 401ks, guys. That's huge, huge, huge mistake. As I like to say, right? Huge, huge. Number 5, make sure you take into account fees. As I've said in videos before, if you have a retirement advisor, if you have someone who is watching over all your finances, a financial professional, watch those fees. Please, please keep it under 1%, under 0.5% if you can, okay? You know, I think a lot of times you're better off just putting in index funds for those low fees instead of those somewhat high fees that financial professionals can charge. Look at your fees. They add up. They don't seem like much, but if you take into account every single year they're taking 1%, 1.5% off the top, that adds up quick. Well, let's say not quick. Look 10 years down the road though. How much in fees have you paid them? Be very careful with that. Very careful. Number 6, not taking advantage of your company's 401k match. In the very beginning, I didn't. You know, I figured, oh, I can't save that much. I'll save 2 or 3%. How much more painful would it have been if I would have put up to the 6% where my company started to match? Not much more when you look back at it, but you're young, you're stupid. Okay, not stupid, you're distracted. Let's say distracted, okay? By other things that are like more relevant than 30 years down the road in your retirement. Take advantage of that 401k company match. That is just, you know, as the years go by and that company match keeps rolling and rolling, gives you more compounding, right? Because it goes with your normal savings into it. Take advantage of the company match. It's so easy. Just put in the minimum if you want. If not, put in more, but take advantage of it. Number 7, not increasing the percentage of your salary that you invest when you get a promotion. Let's say you get a promotion of 5% more salary. Don't have to increase your percentage in your investments by all 5%. Do some. Do 3%. Hey, do 4%. Woo, go crazy. Do 5. Yes. But anytime you get a promotion, anytime you get, let's say you go to a different job and you get more salary. Okay, bump up that percentage that you are contributing into your 401k. I did that gradually, and toward the end, at the very end, I was contributing around anywhere between 22 and 25% of my salary to my 401k. That was gradual. That wasn't all at once. You know, I was in a position, I never got a humongous like, you know, oh, hey, you're going to be making $50,000 more a year. No. At the most, I think I might have got $7,000 or $8,000, you know, bonus or bump up in my salary. I increased gradually. And eventually I was up to save a lot. You know, I was in the position to save a lot of money. So whenever you get a promotion, whenever you change jobs, going to another job for a higher salary, bump up that percentage that you are putting into your retirement plan. Okay? So those are 7 big mistakes that people make in their retirement plan. Don't let it be you. You know, if you look at them one by one, they could seem like they're not that big of a deal, but add them all up, even a couple, 2 or 3 of them, you're making some big mistakes, guys. Just be well prepared in what you're doing in retirement. Go over with a financial professional that you have vetted thoroughly. Because as I said before, financial advisors, be very careful. Some of them, most of them are not retired. You know, do they really know how to advise you in retirement as opposed to retired people? Sure, some of them do. Some have great advice, but make sure you vet them thoroughly before you put your trust in them, and then run all your ideas by them and see what they say, okay? So if any of you have liked this video, my name is Duane. I retired a couple years ago with $500,000. If you're interested in getting into community with moderate income individuals, consider subscribing. And if you like the video, please like, because it is free. It's free. And just remember, guys, as always, we got this.